Okay, so we're doing the show live. We're getting used to this live thing here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up. So we can't see your comments. I don't have a setup for that. Also, I feel like there's a time and a place for that. Like on the gaming live streams that I do over on John Hickok TV. I like to try to read the comments while I'm playing and stuff like that, and it's fun to have that interaction. Well, for stuff like this, we just want to be able to talk and not be, interrupted as much. So we won't be able to see your comments, but what I am going to do is pull it up on YouTube and then see if you guys can let me know what's going on with the audio and making sure that it's working.
Let's get
because we don't want to.
Let's make the fans technical advisors.
Exactly.
Come on, you gotta help out. You gotta pull your weight here on the Big John.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta turn my sound down. That's gonna create a terrible echo. Okay, so now I can see the comments. So you guys just let me know what's going on, if the audio sounds good. Of course, I could hear it on the. Okay, Mateo said it sounded great.
Okay,
right, I'm gonna trust him.
Yes, of course. Known him for years. Yes.
Okay.
Some dude, a partner I was in the Army with, that was flying cargo out in Hawaii, called me up and says, "Hey man, I saw you on YouTube, man."
Yeah.
You did? Yeah, dude, I saw you playing that new game, Battlefield 1. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. I guess the show does get out. Okay.
Yeah, well, that video got like almost 650,000 views. Yeah.
You gotta tell me stuff like this, okay? Good to know.
So a lot of people saw that.
He wasn't the only one too. Some other guy stopped me in this place that should remain nameless.
Yeah.
Said, "Hey, dude, I saw you on the internet." You did? What? Where? What did you see, man?
Oh man, that's hilarious.
You never know what they're gonna say. You saw me doing what? It can be good, it can be bad. You don't know. So okay.
Yeah, there's a buddy of mine had this video from Iraq, and he saw
because I ain't gonna tell. Well, I'm not gonna say there's something floating around out there from my birthday party. Oh my God. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Anyway.
I'm going. Sorry.
Yeah, that video was interesting because like all these kids discovered it because it was a video game video, and they thought that the video was clickbait because I said that it was a combat veteran playing Battlefield 1, and they thought that I meant a World War I veteran.
We propped him up for the
So there was a few people that thought you were like 120 years old.
Almost there. Yeah, I remember the Argonne. By God, yeah.
Yeah.
Which now that you said that would be interesting. We got to start scouring the nursing homes to see if we can find some World War I. Are they any left?
I don't think so. I mean, so to be a World War I veteran,
if you were 20 then,
right? So you could, let's say,
no way. No.
Let's say the youngest,
14, 15.
Yeah,
guys that slipped in.
Yeah, like you would have to be at least about 115 years old.
So I think we're done on finding
there's maybe someone who's old enough that maybe could have been
recalled,
but
recall of the time maybe. But I think we're gonna find too many First Infantry Division guys from the Big Red One. No, I think which is strange. You'd be surprised how long people last because the last Civil War veteran died. Civil War veteran died in 1957, which when you think about it, was not that long ago. 50 years.
No.
I mean, whoa, dude.
Well, they used to have like Civil War reunions, and there's like video of it that you can watch.
From the one you're talking about from Ken Burns.
I think that's the one I saw.
Documentary of the Civil War. The last big one was 1938. I mean, these are guys who were at Gettysburg. Hey, that guy was in Pickett's charge.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's insane to think. Well, like even like I was talking about this with Dad the other day. Like my grandfather on my dad's side, my dad's dad was born in 1918. So he could have met Wyatt Earp as a little kid because Wyatt Earp didn't die until like 1929. or something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, it could. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't, but it could have. It's just crazy, you know.
I read an account of they used to, somewhere in the Library of Congress. They got slave narratives from former slaves.
Yeah.
And this is from 1937, which again is amazing.
Yeah.
And this former slave says, I didn't know there's this much illness in the world, that there was this much sickness until I got free. Because apparently, if you're a slave, it's like you lived or you didn't.
Yeah.
You just walked it. You got sick, you walked it off. But after freedom, what's this thing called a doctor?
Yeah. Wow.
So again, it's amazing how long people.
Yeah.
It's surprising how long people hang on.
Well, people think of that as being like ancient history, but I mean, you had people who had lived through that. I mean, you could have had, let's see, Civil War ended 1865. It was 5, was it?
Oh, okay. 1865. Thank you.
Okay.
That's a red letter day for some of us. Thank you.
Excuse me if I don't know when. Because my life changed so much.
Some of us has just a little bit more importance.
And also, it's kind of like with the Wild West. There were some things that didn't change so much for some people soon after Civil War, which doesn't get talked about a lot.
Well, it's probably a bad thing for the Native Americans.
Yeah.
While the Americans were fighting amongst each other, the expansion to the West stopped.
Yeah.
So they were pretty safe. But
I mean, like slavery, like continued even after the Civil War, because they just like changed the wording and made it like
it's called wage bondage now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, yeah. That's even a whole other thing.
That's another conversation we'll have. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I mean, like, I forgot what they did, but it was like you were like an apprentice or something, and you couldn't leave.
That was the British. That was the British before they the British they got rid of slavery over 7 years.
Oh, okay.
And they compensated the owners. If you let the guy go, we'll give you this much money for every slave you let go.
Yeah.
And the British put it to him like this, put it to the slave owners like this: either you let them go now with this program, or we're just going to lose them anyway for nothing. We'll compensate you for each slave you free. And they were no longer slaves; they were apprentices.
Yeah, we're going to gradually dissolve this horrible thing that we should have dissolved.
Exactly, over 7 years.
Yeah.
So they had to sell it to them, but they beat us by 30 years, which this British guy knew. He threw that all up in your face. Yeah, we beat you by 30 years. Well, thank you. All right, well, I'm glad. Thank you. I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed out. We were on this side of the Atlantic. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But dude, I don't know.
Already like 10 minutes in the show, we've already talked about slavery.
I never do it. That's out left field.
Well, how about this?
Oh, by the way, slavery's okay. Let's beat this dead horse.
Okay.
Slavery's still alive and well. By the way, thank you. It's still alive and well. East Africa. Oh my God. Oh yeah. And I've told that story many a time in this East African country that I visited many years ago.
Yeah.
This Arab dude walks up to the guy who was with me and says, "How much for the black one?" I went, I'm standing there with an M4 rifle with 30 rounds of ammunition.
Yeah.
I got bandoliers across my chest.
Yeah.
And he just discounted me completely. Looked at the other guy and says, "How much for the black one?" And then the dude that's with me, he went with it. He's like, "Well, he's got a few miles on him. I don't know now." And I said, "Look here. I got 30 reasons right here why you ain't getting this. And if you want this, you best bring everybody." So after that, we went to this. After that, we went to a certain place. I was armed to the teeth. Oh my God! Yeah. I could barely stand up. I had so much ammo. Ain't getting me, not me.
Oh man, that's insane. Well, I was talking to this guy that is a roadie in Nashville that tours around with a bunch of different acts, and there's some I don't know if this is even a thing I should worry about, what details I say, but let's say there's a person from another country that is apparently like huge in that country, like a huge name, but most people in America wouldn't necessarily know who it is.
Yeah.
And they had some shows over here in the States, and he was like, whatever, I forgot what he does, stage management, something like that.
Okay.
And there was this girl that was like, following him around or helping him with stuff or whatever, and he just kind of like got to talking to her and realized like she was a slave that this person had bought, that like the entertainer had bought, and it was just like,
it's alive and well.
man,
tell
it's
you.
scary, you know.
I was covering a place in a certain city. Am I being vague enough?
I think so.
And
There's a lot of vagueness on this show.
that's all right. No names here.
Yeah.
I was out front covering, checking for weapons, and this individual came up. This guy came up to him and told me that these individuals came up with this one female, and the guy told me that they were human trafficking this girl.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? Unless she walks up and says, "Hey, I'm a slave, free me." What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I mean,
You don't know.
what I mean, it's not like she's wearing a sign. So again, the dilemma we have, the dilemma we have is that you may want to help these people, but at the same time, what do you do if they don't voice the problem? Your hands are kind of tied.
Right.
You can suspect all you want, but unless there's just hard evidence, you have nothing to act on.
Yeah, and then even like on a bigger scale, this whole idea of America has been trying to be the police of the world.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you can take that same concept and look at it, America and then all the other countries, and then just like your own personal life, you know, how much you can do to try to help other people and stuff. And there's always a limit. You know, we should always try to do something, you know, like we, with a lot of the different money that we make, you know, from this endeavor, we donate to charity. We try to donate a percentage of it to charity.
Part. Yeah, you can't do everything, but you do your part. You do something.
Right, we try to do something. But like, at least speaking about the country as a whole, I mean, there's all these just terrible atrocities going on.
I know what you mean. Go ahead.
Words are hard.
Yeah.
There's a lot of atrocities going on all over the world.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And there's too many of them. Like, we can't fix them all.
No,
we don't have the money. We don't have the resources.
We shouldn't try. Back to the Syria thing. What we should do, we got to get them to make peace in their own country.
Yeah.
The answer is not to get them out of there. It's we got to help these people to get things the way they should be in their own country.
Right.
And I've heard this, that the Russians, I don't want to say the other word. I'm struggling. Old Cold War soldier here. The Russians, a lot of them want to team up with the Americans and go in there and settle things. But how do you do that?
Well, when we saw in Iraq, that just going in there full force doesn't necessarily
exactly. The
fix
factions
it.
are still going to fight each other.
Right.
And the still other. I mean, what do you do? Where do you even start?
The thing is, like, we try to force our freedom, you know, on other people. Then anytime you try to force something on someone else, it's always met with resistance, because if you don't know what it is, you're going to automatically just naturally be like, whoa, wait a minute, you know, what is this? So I mean, Trump has an incredible amount of flaws, obviously. But I'm going to pick out one thing that he said in his inauguration speech, regardless of the man that said it. It was just a thing that I liked, that it was a phrase that I liked.
Okay.
I try to detach it from anything else that he has done as much as possible. But he said that America should be a shining example, you know, of freedom and all this stuff, instead of trying to go and fix everything.
True.
And that's something that I agree with. We should, like, offer, you know, help and aid in ways that don't involve, like, sending all of our resources over these other countries, and fix ourselves first. And,
true, very true. And I'll say this: America ain't very good at nation building.
Yeah, no,
we're not very good at that. We're great winning wars, by God, but nation building ain't necessarily something that we're good at. We've seen some examples of that,
right?
Know, South Vietnam.
Yeah. And that's what, you know, the wars that we've, you know, lost per se. We didn't really lose. We just kind of gave up. Like Vietnam and Iraq. The problem is, it's like, it wasn't like a war that we were trying to win. If we were trying to push a certain amount of people back to a place, we could have done it. Yeah. Without any trouble. But we weren't really doing that. We were just trying to settle this area.
And I have to say that someone else said this, and I have to agree. Does Western style democracy work everywhere?
Yeah.
I mean, does it?
It could, but I don't think it does yet.
No.
Because I think that so much, you think about the people that settled here and why they settled here, like there's so much behind democracy and why it works for us and everything, you know.
And in places where Western style I can't. Okay, talk about you can't
Words
talk.
are hard, yeah.
Western style democracy. You got to slow it down.
Yeah, it's because it's live.
That's right.
Words are harder when you're live.
There are places where Western style democracy don't necessarily work. There are cultural differences that will make it a little bit harder for it to work. It's possible. You're right, but hey, if the culture isn't necessarily been brought up on that,
right?
If democracy isn't historical in that certain place, then it's going to be extra hard for it to work.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta say this: Saddam, was he a strong man? Was he a tyrant? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he kept the tribes under control. But how did he do it? By being a tyrant, though.
Right. Because you could almost say the same thing about the Nazis.
I mean, they efficient.
Yeah.
Tyrannical.
Yeah.
Efficient.
It's like you're going to be really sad pretty much most of your life, but you're going to have food.
Give and take. I'm depressed, but I'm well fed.
I'll tell you.
Oh my God.
Poor and oppressed. That's the worst.
That sucks. Okay, we gotta have a revolution. If we were Cuba, if we were oppressed, but healthcare is good. Hey, we eat a lot. That's why they tend to keep the dictator around as long as everybody is doing pretty good. But if he's running roughshod over us and we're all sucking. Okay, sorry, you got to go, dude.
Yeah, and it's like really in every country. If you think about it, the people have a deal with the government, and we like to think that we're in charge, but really, the only deal with America is we just got a better deal. We just negotiated better stuff, in some ways.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, you're right. We have more leeway than most countries. I'll say a friend of mine said this, and I have to agree with him. He says that we go through we put with a lot of the same stuff that other countries put up with. We just have it a little bit better here.
Yeah.
We got just a little bit more choice. Now, do people always use their choice, like voting? Not always.
Yeah.
And we've seen what happened.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. One thing too with the spying thing, that's an issue that I think is kind of unique to America to an extent. Well, that could be totally wrong. Actually, I'm not going to say that, but still, spying is an issue in America. Like this new what's it called? There's some new Google thing that's like some internet infrastructure of your house or whatever, and it like record. It's like that Amazon Echo thing.
Yeah.
And it kind of it records like all your conversations and stores them.
Is that good?
And that makes I would never get one of those.
No.
That or the Amazon Echo or any of that stuff.
I saw a story. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I saw a story on that, the Echo and the what's the other one called?
I can't remember what the Google one is called. They're probably telling us in the comments right now. We can't.
We can't see the comments.
Yeah.
But the average time people use them is about 3 months.
Yeah.
Because you have to internet out your whole house because it looks cool. Hey, Echo, turn on the lights. I can't walk over there to that switch and do it myself, but okay.
Yeah.
It seems cool to do that, but you have to internet the hell out of your house to do all that.
And telling it to order things online. I don't want to be able to order stuff that easy.
Yeah, that could come back and bite you. But they said most people are not that much into getting their house connected that they can use the equipment that Echo and the Celesta. That's bothering me. I can't think of the name of that thing.
I can't either. Yeah.
But they say the average time people use this equipment is 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months, and then they go back to, what, I just walk over there and turn the light on myself.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't, what's that movie, that Disney movie where the machines took over and because people were so, the robots did everything for us.
iRobot?
No, close. It was people got so lazy, got so big they couldn't even get out of the chair anymore, and the robots were feeding people.
I may not have seen that one.
I've seen that one, but that was an example of that's coming.
Yeah,
because we're gonna have these machines doing everything for us. Look out for those androids.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
It's like that movie with Bruce Willis, Surrogates, where everyone has like this young and attractive version of themselves that's a robot.
Of course.
And they're sitting at home fat, and just
hey, go out there and live my life for me.
Yeah. Well, they're their consciousness is plugged in, like virtual reality into this, robot.
Scary dude. Yeah. Stephen Hawking, he said the biggest danger to mankind is AI.
Yeah. But you know what, though? Humans built computers and robots and these things, and if we built them, they're probably not that different from us. And if that's the case, then they're probably more likely to destroy themselves than us. That's my thought.
I do worry about the Terminator scenario where all of a sudden your computer says, "No, I'm not going to turn off."
Yeah.
no, you shut down. I do worry. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand convenience, but I think there comes a point where things can be too convenient.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. I mean, Androids are scary.
Yeah. What if computers get so smart that if you have some business, like some online business you're using your computer for, that it intentionally prevents you from success because it knows that if you make more money, you'll just replace them.
You'll upgrade them. Yeah. I'm saying self-preservation. I'm saving myself. So technology is scary. Like Jurassic World. You seen that movie yet?
Yeah.
And that is exactly what would happen if that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
They make an amusement park out of it, and the Army's like, you know what? Maybe we could train these things like canines.
Yeah, really.
So that's exactly what would happen.
Oh, well, yeah, back to what I was going to say about the spying thing. Mm-hmm. The one thing that makes me feel a little better about the spying thing is, while it doesn't feel good to lose privacy. You know, it's nice to be able to feel like you can be private, some things private at least, you know. But here's what's going to come down to, though, is if things that are acquired like in secret or in ways that you wouldn't expect are going to be admissible in court. That's where that's really going to come to head. If there's some kind of investigation or something, maybe a murder investigation, and maybe they got some information that says that, you know, that makes it obvious the person did it. Like maybe they were talking with someone and saying that, like, you know, admitting to committing the crime, but they got the audio from, you know, some, I don't know, Apple device or something.
Yeah, some guy's Apple phone that was 2 tables over.
Yeah, and there was no reason for him to believe that he was being wiretapped, and there was no like court appointed.
There was no expectation of privacy.
Or there was an expectation of privacy.
That's a problem because I think that's a Fourth Amendment violation. If there's an expectation of privacy, like in the bathroom, and that's something they may try to change. They might try to say you have no expectation of privacy. Ooh,
you know?
Oh my God, here we go. Okay, oh my God, the Men in Black are coming.
So, and they, you know, the whole thing of they're data mining all of this. They have this big list of everything that we ever looked at on the internet, you know, and well, see, that's the thing. It's
okay, I'll talk. Don't. Oh, don't let that list go, man.
Yeah.
Don't. I'll talk. Okay. Whatever you want.
Oh man. But I feel like eventually, like I can. You know, everyone jokes about aliens. You know, when they, or not jokes about, but when they depict aliens, sometimes they depict them as these as a race of people who have lost even the concept of what privacy even is. Yeah. And I think there's something to that. I mean, I can see that path to where there will be no privacy, but it won't necessarily be as bad of a thing as we think. It'll just be kind of like, you know. I don't know.
Maybe privacy is subjective. I mean, what you think privacy is different from what somebody else may think.
Right. I know we're talking like 300 years down the road, but
of course, you know, hey, everything's done by mind control, like on Star Trek. You know, hey, computer, do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, well, we're getting close. We're trying.
Yeah, and it's like we're speaking telepathically. Can you still have private thoughts? You know,
again, scary. What? You can read my thoughts? Not good. Yeah. Not good. No way.
Yeah. I mean, is it like like opening a new like task in a computer? You know, it's like I got one conversation going and I've got like a thought about the conversation opened at the same time.
Or know? Like the X-Men, Dr. Xavier. You know how much he can read minds. You know how scary that would be.
Oh man.
Oh no.
Yeah. How could you have any self-confidence? You know?
I don't want to know what this guy's thinking. I don't want to know that. Jeez. Oh, I take that back. Can you read them or can you control them? Good question. That's a question for
both, maybe
for our X-Men geeks out there. I should know that. Can he control or can he read them? Okay, I have to find that out after hours.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh yeah. I was gonna tell you about this story I saw. Someone shared on Facebook just a little bit ago. Apparently, there's cougars now in Middle Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah. And people say, "Well, I ain't seen one." That's right. They're not like walking down Main Street, dude. They're out there. Oh yeah. From my understanding, a lot of these guys with these trail cameras, they get caught on those, chasing deer and all that. Dude. Cougars are very a mountain lion. What do we call them here? Cougars, mountain lions, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Panther, what? I don't know.
Yeah,
they're not small.
Yeah,
they're not small. So
just make sure you've got plenty of federal ammo.
That's right. My God, you take down a cougar, you can't do it with no cheap, surplus Warsaw packed ammo.
Yeah.
My God.
You're gonna want to go to sdi.edu, and you're going to learn how to be a gunsmith there, and that's where you're gonna. That's where you're gonna build a gun, and then you're gonna buy some federal ammo, and and you're gonna buy some other guns on budsgunshop.com, and then you're gonna protect yourself from
cougar attack.
The cougar attack.
In fact, I heard tell of a guy in Mississippi got killed by a cougar. He's firing wolf ammo. Didn't stand a chance. He did. Yeah. It was all over him. He didn't have a chance.
That'd be a great advertisement for an ammo company.
Look at that. See this man? See this body? This half-eaten body? Look what's next to him. Wolf ammo. See? Show another guy with a cougar hanging upside down.
Yeah.
A cougar rug.
Yeah.
He's got his feet propped up on the head.
Yeah.
Federal ammo.
Well, that's the worst part is the TWRA, which is the Tennessee Wildlife Management Association. I think. Mm-hmm. You can't shoot them.
Why not?
Because they're like protected, and they're good for the environment because they're they're gonna take out the deer and make the road safer. And so people people in cars get priority over people who want to walk in the woods. Apparently.
Okay, so you're walking in the woods, and a cougar is coming right at you. Oh, it's protected. I can't shoot.
Yeah. If it attacks you, I'm sure you're fine. but you got to have at least like a 3-inch claw mark, I think.
That's right. Okay, you shoot him and go over there, take his paws, scratch yourself. Look at this. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
He was coming right at me. What was I gonna
do? Drag him over on top of
it. Take a picture, not selfie. Look at this.
Oh man, a friend of mine, he's been on the show before. He's a comedian. He recently moved out to Seattle, but his name is Joe Kelly, and he sent me this video of a guy that was bear hunting. It was him and it wasn't Joe Kelly wasn't bear hunting, but it was just some random guys I don't know. Was taking videos of themselves bear hunting. One guy was making a shot at I think it was a black bear in a tree, and there was another guy kind of at the base of the tree. Okay. Now I don't know anything about bear hunting. Okay. I'm going to mention this just right off the top.
Okay.
I feel like if someone's going to shoot a bear, they should be the other person should be where the person shooting is, not where the bear is.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Don't be under the bear. This is about to be shot at. No.
Yeah, I feel like maybe that's a bad idea, but maybe there's something I don't understand about bear hunting.
I seen The Revenant. Hey.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to be anywhere near the bear. Oh.
No. So what happens is he shoots the bear, and the bear freaks out, of course, and starts trying to climb the tree or something, and he falls out of the tree.
Okay.
And then attacks the guy. He's just hanging out down there. And it's like, oh, man. And if you're the guy that took the shot, it's like, what do? You try to, snipe him, end up shooting your buddy or something,
Oh,
he ran down there. I don't know what happened up there. I think it cut out. But
oh, my God. Oh.
That's terrifying. I feel bad for the guy.
What kind of bear? As if it matters.
I think it was a black bear. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I had someone survival kind of guy that I work with at this other place. He's like, oh, yeah, black bear. Yeah, I could probably take one down with a knife. Okay. All right.
If it stands there and lets you do it.
That's the way he came across. Oh, blackberry, no problem. What's that, 400 pounds? No problem. I'll get my Bowie knife out there, and I'll just kill him, skin him, and I'll make steaks out of him. Okay, dude, whatever. Okay, whatever. Famous last words, okay? Next time you go in the woods, make sure you let me know. But you never hear anybody say about like a grizzly. But I think went to Korea, and then they stop in the airport in Anchorage. They got this huge grizzly in there. This thing's like 12 foot tall, standing up. No, I think you need a little bit more than a knife to take this thing down.
Yeah, those things are terrifying. Well, like the Revenant. I mean, that thing. And supposedly that's the one of the most realistic. Words are hard again. That's one of the most realistic depictions of a bear attack. They apparently watched videos of real bear attacks and then tried to emulate that, just the way that it moved and everything.
And that was a CGI bear too.
Yeah, it looked good, I thought.
And no, they won't tell anybody how they did it. So everybody's like, well, I swore it was a real bear.
Yeah.
But they said, no, it was a CGI bear. And everybody's like, how did you do that? And they're keeping it a secret.
You can, you can tell that it's CGI. If you know it's CGI, you can tell by the way it moves and stuff. But it was really good CGI.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
it's probably some of the only CGI they used in the movie. So.
That's right. No, let's get the actual bear. Then at the Academy Awards, they have a bear out there. And DiCaprio went over there and kissed the bear. Oh,
yeah. Like people were worried about his relationship with bears. You know?
Look, we're friends. Look. No hard feelings. It was just work.
Oh, man.
So,
I heard that he actually ate that
liver.
He actually, he's a vegetarian. He actually did it for the movie.
You know what? If I was getting the payday he was getting, what you want me to eat? Okay. Let's go. Raw buffalo liver, no problem.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're truly committed to your art, you would feel better about doing it. You're like, first of all, I'm getting paid a lot for this movie.
That's right.
And second of all, I mean, at that level, it's probably hard to feel like you're really competing maybe with other actors, So next time you're hanging out with all the A-list celebrities at those weird eyes wide shut parties or whatever they're doing, it could be like, you see my last movie?
That's the one I got my Oscar for?
Yeah.
Hey.
This goat's blood you're drinking here. That's nothing. I ate a liver out of a bear.
Hey, Tom Cruise, get over here. Shine my Oscar for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what they're doing. Yeah.
And then they're like, "Well, we're all friends with aliens, so I don't think we're impressed by that."
As long as the aliens are like Paul,
right? Yeah.
I would have no problem. Thank you for remembering that movie.
Yeah.
So I have no problem.
It didn't do that well, but I thought it was a good
great movie.
Yeah.
I mean, if the aliens are like that, get down here.
Yeah.
Get down here. What are you waiting for? Come on.
Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, it was silly, but I thought it was great. One of my favorite scenes was there was a lot of good ones, but whenever they actually pick up the alien and he's in their RV, and remember he had bought that Alien on Board bumper sticker, and he goes and pulls it off. That's so great.
Oh, good. Oh yeah, the bird. He brought the bird back to life and ate it. And they're like, what are you doing? He says, well, you didn't expect me to eat a dead bird. Great movie. If they're like that, get down here.
One thing too about aliens, if you think about it, I mean, talk about being independent. I mean, like they wouldn't necessarily. We have this idea that they work with the government. That the government like keeps them under wraps or whatever.
Yeah. Why? Yeah. Okay. This
could be the other way around. Maybe the aliens don't let the government. Maybe the government wants to tell us about the aliens, but they don't let them.
Okay. I gotta say this about the government. Our government keeping the aliens under wraps. This is the same government that can't balance the budget. The same government that can't, deal with poverty and improve the infrastructure. But they're going to keep the aliens under wraps, though. Okay.
But see, those things are impossible, though. That's the
difference. Aliens are easy. Come on. What was it? The Men in Black. They went inside the laboratory inside of MIB headquarters, and they had all this high-speed equipment. And Will Smith is like, well, how did you pay for all this? How did you get all this? He says, no, that was Independence Day. Sorry. Who was funding Area 51?
Yeah.
And the guy said, well, yeah, I guess that explains those $500 hammers and those $400 toilet seats.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's out there. Heck yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I go back and forth on it, but I definitely think that if whatever, you knew someone in the government and they were like, all right, we're going to show you everything we got.
That's right. All right, let's go. Get on the plane.
The 3-day tour, you're gonna see it all. If you don't see it, we don't have it.
I think giving Trump that.
Yeah. Like, I guarantee you there's got to be at least one thing that just makes you go, you have got to be kidding me. I don't know what it is, but I just feel that like that.
I mean, well, Tommy Lee Jones, he said something. Will Smith asked him, he was still trying to decide if he wanted to be in MIB. He said that, why don't you just tell people about this? People can handle it. And Tommy Lee Jones like, what? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
People are panicky, dangerous, and scary. There's no way. And unfortunately, I think he's right. Look how paranoid people are now.
Yeah. And also, may not understand it enough. That's the thing too. It may, we don't even. That's the thing. We don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
Like I guarantee you, there are so many things, and I've experienced this just in my regular life. There's probably so many things in the government that we look at from the outside and we go, "Oh, why are they doing this? This is so terrible. I can't believe they're doing it this way." And if we actually were on the inside of it and had all the information, we'd go, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess they don't really. You're kind of between a rock and a hard place here,
I'll say this. I heard this said, and I have to agree. Do we need to know everything they're doing?
Man, I don't know. Probably not. I mean,
yeah. Do we need to know? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to. And also, I'd like to. That's another thing with transparentness in the government. Like I'd like to feel like the government can be transparent, but then again, if we know, then our enemies know.
Yeah, and I like to think that for all the ATF, MIB people out there listening to this show, and they are.
Yeah.
That I like the government is working for our welfare, for the welfare of the country. So, as long as they're doing that, okay, guys, go at it. Hey.
Yeah.
Just let me know later what happens.
Yeah. Oh, for the ATF agents that are watching, this is not a real.
That's right. That's right.
World War II grenade. Pull the pin and throw it to you real quick.
That's right. Come on.
Here, I will prove it right now on air.
That's right. That's right.
Nothing comes out.
It is an inert grenade, yes. For the record, there are no live explosives in view.
In view, keyword.
That's right. So.
You got a whole crate of grenades.
It's not a camera shot. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. What was the gun thing that we talked about before? We were going to talk about
capacity.
Yeah, capacity. That's right.
Yeah, I saw I think it was the Department of Justice NRA study, whatever, from 1997 to 2001.
Yeah.
And what it said was that most of your defense shootings, most of your defense shootings were during home invasions, and during most of those, 2 to 3 rounds was the most that were fired. And that's why I point out that a lot of people get this, like you said, false sense of security from high capacity.
Right.
When you get something, if God forbid you have to have that big shootout, it's not going to be the big John Wick, 15 minutes rolling around shooting. It's going to be 2 to 3 rounds, maybe 4 or 5, maybe. And then after that, somebody's going to be dead, running away, or injured.
Right.
2 to 3 rounds.
Or all 3.
Yeah. But that study also said that if they have a revolver, the person usually empties it.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I believe that.
Well, and like I said before, no one ever got killed for, and I didn't make this up, no one ever got killed for having too many rounds.
That's right.
So having extra is nice.
True.
Like I would hate to feel like if I got into some kind of engagement like that I was out of ammo. It seemed over. I was like, it seems over, but I'm just sitting there out of ammo.
It's over for you.
Yeah, like let's say someone shoots at you and tries to kill you, and you fire back, and the guy falls to the ground, and he's clearly like done.
Okay.
And you're empty. I guess you could pick up his gun, maybe. But I just don't like the idea that it's like you're standing over a body or a dying person. And it's like you have no ammo. What if his buddy shows up?
Or what if he ain't really dead? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why of course you carry spare ammo, but you can still go through that depending. And it's all about caliber balance and all that kind of stuff.
Shot placement.
Yeah, shot
placement.
That's why I think 9mm in some ways is the perfect modern self-defense round. And the reason I say modern, it's not a modern round. I mean modern as in, like in the cowboy days, you didn't have to really conceal your gun.
No.
Everybody
was carrying.
Right, but nowadays there's a lot of people,
yeah,
and there's a lot of, I don't know, it just makes sense to conceal your gun.
It's you should be the only one that know you're armed.
Right, I think it's a great strategy.
Yeah,
so,
and then they don't know who's armed either, so that's gonna make anybody that's reasonable, they'll be hesitant to attack.
Right, so right there, that's a big strike against .45 before you even get into the actual caliber itself.
Okay.
I think because the guns are smaller that shoot 9, and then of the smaller guns, you can carry more 9mm rounds than you can 45. That's one plus.
Yep.
And also with modern hollow points, 9mm is pretty effective. It expands well.
Yep.
And you're going to get something similar or more with a 9mm hollow point than you would a Full Metal Jacket 45, at least.
I heard that 9mm hollow point hits almost as hard as a 40.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I mean, if you got like plus P plus rounds and some really fast stuff, possibly.
Okay.
I'm sure it depends on the load and everything.
Yep.
And then also 9mm recoils less, so again, shot placement, has that advantage. But then again, the 45, it is a big old honking bullet. That's always a good thing.
Like God meant. Yes. That's right.
But that's why I like both. I love the 45 and I love the 9mm. But as far as for self defense, I think it's like the perfect do all caliber 9mm.
The only thing I'll say about that, shot placement is more important than capacity. Because
right, I will agree with that.
If you're blasting away and out hitting nothing, who cares?
Yeah.
Hey, who cares?
But it's like, why not go for the full loaded class?
That's right.
So it's like capacity is like the heated seats of self-defense.
That's right. So I mean, but like I think you mentioned before, don't let it give you a false sense of security either.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
If you're not hitting anything, who cares? And that's been known to happen.
Yeah.
From 6 feet away, you're missing this guy, and he's still coming. So I go with the 45 because if you hit him anywhere, he's done. Well, maybe he's down.
Yeah.
Maybe not done, but down.
And also anywhere. You take a shot to the pinky, you might.
That's right. Okay. You shoot me my pinky, I'm stopping. Okay, hey, you shot me my little finger.
I'll never scratch my ear right again. How would you?
I got a prosthetic pinky.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
But I point back to the American War in the Philippines in 1898, 1900. That's the standard issue weapon for the Army was a 38, and that wasn't doing the job because I believe the Filipino natives were getting high before they attacked them.
Yeah, and
38 wasn't doing the job. So that's when they retooled it and went with the 45 caliber.
Yeah.
So because they tried the there was a M1903 which was a 380.
Yeah.
Which 380. In the 19th century, I mean, that must have been a real unique cell. I can't see many people carrying that.
Yeah, back then, especially if you're carrying it open.
I mean, a 380.
Like if you're open carrying a gun and you're carrying a 380, it's like why? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense.
I see a 380 as more of a pocket pistol.
Right. That's the value of a 380.
Yeah.
Throw it in your
like
pocket.
a Derringer, just keep it in your pocket. It's there, and nobody sees it. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't. Now I know that in some countries they have weird. Well, every country has weird gun laws, but in some countries they have laws against. You can have some guns, but you can't have calibers that are used by the military. Like you can't have guns that are chambered in NATO calibers, and that's why there's been so much controversy or people talked about it. They are, I forget the numbers, but there are Glock models that are basically the same as the Glock 26, the 19, and the 17, which are the 9mm Glocks. They make those same Glocks, same size and everything in 380, and people for years have thought that it was like a smaller gun or something, but it's the same gun, and the only reason that it's not available in the United States is because there's no need for it in the United States.
Yeah.
But in other countries where you can't have 9mm, then it's kind of like they carry 380 because it's close enough.
A good 380 is a good self defense.
Yeah, which I would go. You'd think they'd carry like the Makarov or something because it's kind of in between. It's closer to the 9mm than the 380. But
which back to what you're saying about concealable weapons, subcompact 1911s.
Oh yeah,
I saw one at this place. They're selling them. You only got 5 rounds.
Yeah,
but
you get a 9mm 1911. Those are pretty good. Some of
that
them.
is heresy.
Is
but
it?
Okay, but that's okay. I'll let that pass.
Yeah, hold on, hold your ears. They have 380 1911.
Oh my God, poser. but subcompact 1911. I saw one. It fits right in the palm of your hand. Everything's real familiar. Same gun, just smaller. It's a subcompact 1911, fits right in your hand, still fires a 45.
Yeah.
Again, back to that, very concealable, close range self-defense gun.
Right.
Also, the movie trivia for you. You know that movie Hitman with Timothy?
I saw the first one.
The first one. The first one with Timothy Oliphant. I guess something
like that. Yeah. Timothy Elephant. Yeah.
I thought
the Justified guy. That's the
that's right. That guy. I thought he had 1911s. No, they're not. Those chrome. They look just like 1911s. No, they're 1911 chrome. They're clone 1911s.
So they're not Colts. Okay.
No, they are. They were para ordnance P18s.
So were they the double stack ones then?
Yeah, because they're 9mm.
Okay.
They're para ordnance P18 9mm.
Okay, I never looked at it.
They look just like 1911s, except they're chambered for 9mm.
Yeah, and they are technically 1911, just different.
It's a clone. They call it a 1911 clone.
Yeah.
But I thought, dude, I have to talk crap for years about. Look at Hitman. He carries 1911s. Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, it's a little different animal.
Hey.
Which, speaking of Colt, they're kind of getting back in the game, which is kind of cool. They're coming out with revolvers again.
Okay.
They're going to bring back the Colt Python, which you've seen those, right?
Yeah, Rick on Walking Dead carries one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool because those guns are sweet looking guns.
They look great,
and they haven't made them since the '80s. So if you want one, you got to pay like $3 or $4 grand for it.
Okay, no, cut down on the chrome ones. Okay, make them gunmetal.
Yeah, they'll make them, I'm sure, in blue.
Okay, but chrome. Okay, that's got Dirty Harry written all over it. Dirty Harry.
They have they also, it's going to be a limited run, unfortunately, but they came out with this. It's a M16 replica essentially, and this guy in their custom shop took actual early M16s, and it's got that 3-prong muzzle brake in the end and everything. Took early M16s and basically made an exact copy of it. I mean, if you pick one of those up, the new Colt M16 version, they even made the serial number in the same range, and they just added like a little extra thing on it to distinguish it. Everything about it is identical to the originals except for the full auto.
Okay,
it looks like you can switch it, but you won't go there all the way.
Okay.
I was joking with the guy. I was like, if I push this hard enough, will it go full on? But it's really neat because it's just like the real thing. Piece
of history.
And it's weird to think that the AR-15 or the M16 is, that there's like a collectible version of it now. But
we've
been around a long time.
Yeah, what 61, 62?
I think it was first developed in the 50s, and then of course the 60s is when it was used actually.
And again, for a lot of reasons, a lot of your old timers have a problem going to the M16.
Yeah.
That Sergeant Major from We Were Soldiers. That,
he died recently.
Yeah, he did,
yeah.
and also the Colonel. The Colonel did too.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. Hal Moore. Yeah,
Hal Moore. Yeah, he passed too.
Yeah, but it's sad that he's it was kind of like Captain Winters when he died. He's kind of like the Vietnam Captain Winters and
exactly. Hell of a man. Oh
yeah. Amazing. Long life too.
The Sergeant Major said he didn't believe in carrying the M16. He said it looked like toys to me.
Yeah.
He carried a 1911, 2 of them.
Yeah.
He said if I need a rifle, there'll be plenty laying on the ground.
Oh, that's right. He was the guy that was the World War II veteran.
Yeah, he was in every combat jump the 82nd had during World War II, and he also had a combat jump from Vietnam. He was a airborne god. Yes, he was. So that guy was tougher than nails, by God.
Yeah. When did he probably died in like the 70s or something?
Wait, no. He was.
Oh, the 80s.
Yeah. I know that
because he was old then, right?
Yeah, he was. He was older. I think I gotta look him up now because I'm sure he might be still with us because I think I saw a picture of him.
Really?
But I don't know if he's still with us or not.
He's like 105 years old.
He's got to be up there. I mean, he went to every combat. He was on every combat jump the 82nd Airborne Division had in World War II and jumped into Korea. That guy.
Wow.
You think just wear and tear would have got him.
Oh, yeah.
And then he was in the I-Drang in 65. Dude, man, sit down. Dude, you're done.
That's
you had
insane.
enough.
Man.
But,
of course, was it Sam Elliott?
Yeah, Sam Elliott played him.
Yeah, and Sam Elliott was really old in that movie. So I guess I'm thinking like, because if he was the age that Sam Elliott was.
no, that guy. That guy
he must not have been that old.
He may. I'll look it up after we're done. But the guy, he's got a few miles on him. But he deserves it. Whatever rest he gets, he deserves it. That guy's been through some crap.
That's insane.
And Sam Elliott, let me say this. Another well-looking old guy, by God, Sam Elliott. Old guys can look good.
He's got a great voice, a guy.
Oh, and then the old gray hair, the old bushy Western mustache, by God. So,
yeah. What's that movie? It's like a cult classic with the dude.
Cigarette smoking guy. Thank you for smoking.
No. He was, they're always bowling, and Sam Elliott's the guy at the bar talking. He's like narrating the movie.
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, you have the guy. They call him the dude, the Big Lebowski.
Okay.
Yeah,
with,
the Big Lebowski.
With what's his name? That was in True Grit.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
John Wayne.
No, the remake.
Yeah, I know.
The
Imagine John Wayne in the Big Lebowski. From the Duke to the Dude.
What's his name? He was in
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges. Yeah,
I get Jeff Bridges and Jeff Daniels confused. I don't know why.
Jack Daniels. Don't forget them.
Jack Daniels. Yeah, and Jack Black.
But he was. I just saw True Grit, the remake.
Yeah,
and
I didn't like it very much.
Yeah, it was a little bit long. They were close to the book, but it was a little bit long, and I don't think they treated that scene where Rooster shot it out with the bad guy
at the end.
Yeah. They didn't treat that with the prestige they should have. That was a piece of movie history. John Wayne riding toward Robert Duvall, spin cocking that Winchester 92 that didn't exist at the time the movie was supposed to take place in.
Right.
That was a piece of history.
That was a bad movie to reboot. I think like if you're gonna reboot a movie, I think a great type of movie to look for is a movie that was a little bit maybe underappreciated. Yeah, that was done at a time when like the special effects kind of limited it. Yeah, but the story was like great. And everything, and actually rebooting it would kind of help the movie and make it a better movie.
The Hell and Back with Audie Murphy.
That would be a great one.
If they did that today,
that would be a great one. So like 3:10 to Yuma, I think was a great example of a Western reboot. The original is great, but it's not True Grit. It's not iconic like True Grit. And that was a good reboot. I mean, it was a good movie. I really enjoyed that one. But True Grit, it's like one of the most it'd be like trying to reboot Tombstone or something. It's ridiculous,
Ben-Hur was another one. Good try.
Yeah.
It was entertaining, but it wasn't Charlton Heston.
I haven't seen that yet, but I imagine that.
It was good, but it's not the original.
I heard it was better than people thought.
Yeah, exactly. And but it's not Charlton Heston. No way.
Yeah.
Dude, you can't beat that. Come on. Charlton Heston, dude.
Yeah. Oh, one reason I pulled out this infield, we were talking about capacity earlier. What's interesting about the infield, and this is an old Mark III made in 1917, and which is kind of fun. I've actually been playing Battlefield 1. You can use this exact gun.
Practice on it.
I'm like, hey, I got that gun. But this was like high capacity for the time.
10 rounds, right?
Yeah, 10 rounds in a bolt action. Dude.
What, the K98 only had 5, right?
Right.
So,
But you had a little more punch with that 8mm.
True, but I believe that bolt's spring loaded, ain't it? Yeah,
so it cocks when you close it. That's one thing. So like with the Mauser, if you've got, I can't really sight it usually with this microphone, but if you're looking down the sights, you take a shot and you want to keep your sights on target, you're going to disrupt the sight picture because you got to bang that thing hard because that's where you're cocking it when you're first opening it. But on this gun, it's easy to move that back and forth and pull it back, and then it cocks when you're pushing it back. Cocks on close, so that way you're pushing the gun forward instead of kind of like rocking it to the side. So it'd be easier to keep your sights on target. And also, there was some kind of trick. I never tried it where they would like shoot with their middle finger or something like that, and they would just like work it really fast.
Yeah, that was called a rapid fire. The British Army practiced that rapid fire. Yeah. They could get off 20 rounds in a minute, which was a lot.
Yeah, the Mad Minute.
The Mad Minute. Yeah. They practice that. You get a battalion of 600-700 guys all firing rapid fire. Yeah, they mowed the Germans down.
Yeah, and they thought it was machine gun fire or something.
Exactly. I mean, which again, practice.
Yeah, I love the wood on this thing because it's got
built the last. It's 100 years
just
old.
It's so old. I mean, it's got 100. About 100 years worth of sweat and grime and mud.
God knows that World War I, they used that weapon up and through World War II.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That thing may have seen most of its action in World War II.
They came ashore at Sword Beach, by God.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
Didn't you guys do a show on the Sten gun?
Yeah, we did.
So
they're pretty neat.
they made those in 3 hours in the shops.
Wow.
I mean, people's garages, they're making them in England.
Yeah.
And very simple. What, 9mm, right?
Yeah, 9mm.
Simple, weld here, weld there. You're ready to go.
Yeah. Like the stock is just made of metal. There's no wood in it.
What kind of range did it have?
I wouldn't say a lot.
I mean, it was an aerial weapon. You just kind of sprayed with it. You didn't, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, and it's kind of like, I mean, you can put the rounds about where you want to put them at
With
close
practice,
range.
yeah.
I mean, it had it's got a big spring, and I mean, it controls the recoil really well and everything. It's funny in that video so like, I've always known that it's a Hollywood thing to hold a gun by the magazine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I've always known that. But I thought for some reason that the Sten gun was the one gun where you actually did that, and that's what me and Dad both thought. And we put out all these videos holding, of course, there's a, like there's a part where you can hold this
The magazine weld.
Yeah, the magazine weld. Yeah, I was like, what is that word?
That's
the magazine weld. You can hold that, and not just the magazine, but it's kind of short, so you can't. Part of your hand's gonna be on the magazine, too. But I thought that's how you were supposed to hold it. But apparently, you don't. You hold it on underneath still, But whatever, it's a cool gun.
Yeah, they issued it to their special forces guys.
Yeah,
and some of their paratroopers carried it, but most guys carry that thing. It's just like the American troopers. Most people wanted the M1, the full-size M1 Garand for the knockdown power, but at the same time, a lot of guys carried the M1 carbine because it was just lighter.
right.
And but it's a trade-off. I mean, you're losing a lot of knockdown power, a lot of range.
But it's still 30 carbine wasn't a bad round.
No, it wasn't. I mean, hey,
It's really not.
Oh.
Packs a serious punch for sure.
Oh,
If you had the M2 carbine, which I think they only introduced those like later in World War II, it was more of a thing in Korea.
Yeah, it was fully automatic, wasn't it?
Yeah, talk about spraying out some rounds. 30 rounds is hard to control though. I would think.
It was the first assault rifle the Army had.
Yeah, the United States at least.
The United States Army first.
Forget that SDG 44.
That's right. Oh my God. Yeah.
If you think about it though, I guess that's not true. I was gonna say the closest thing to the first assault rifle was kind of the BAR, in a way.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But then again, the whole point of the assault rifle is it was like an intermediate caliber, and it shot 30-06. But
I read a lot of guys that didn't like the BAR.
I can imagine super heavy.
You had to give it to the biggest guy.
Yeah.
And
really
then the ammo for it.
Oh man, the magazines were heavy,
dude. But if they don't have them, and you got a BAR, that's Bonnie and Clyde and the gangsters in the 30s about that. If you got a BAR and the other guys don't, dude.
They used to cut them off too, make them a little shorter, leaner.
Oh my God,
yeah, so, wicked gun, man.
And back to the M1 carbine. Toward the end of World War II, they started in a lot of units. The carbine replaced the 45 because as a secondary weapon.
Yeah.
Because it's better than a pistol, but not as good as a full-size rifle. Like you said, it's a good intermediate weapon.
Right, yeah.
So, I don't know. I think I just have a pistol, though, because...
Yeah, I know a lot of guys would have, like, family members send them guns and stuff like that.
You could do that. Oh, here's a gun. Put this in the mail and send it to you. What a country. What a country. What a country.
Yeah, can you imagine, like, when you're in Iraq, someone just sending you a handgun?
I think you can use this, boy. Here you go. What's that movie? It was the Pacific version of Band of Brothers.
The Pacific.
Okay, the Pacific. Eugene Sledge, his dad sent him a 38 revolver.
Yeah, that's right.
And he kept it, for at night when he's in the trench sleeping, he kept his 38 there. That way he could lay his M1 down.
Yeah.
So,
it'd be funny if like if like you're in like Iraq or something, like your dad sends you a gun. It's just not something that even helps at all. It's like a 22 like single action or something.
Hey, thanks. I'll keep this down here somewhere. I'll put this M4 down. I don't need that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But the reason a lot of guys wanted handguns is, even though they had Grands and stuff, is for being in the foxholes. What I heard.
Yeah.
Because it's a big old long rifle. It's kind of hard to wield that.
Exactly. Or in a ditch or trench, something like that. You need something shorter, something more convenient. And this guy I read about. I talked to this guy from World War II. He was a medic, which back then a medic was supposed to carry a weapon. And he said, "Screw that." Dude,
I bet a lot did. I would think.
Oh yeah, this guy.
At least a handgun.
The infantry guy told me they were going through a house in a village, and this German jumped from under the stairs, had to drop on him, and he thought he was done, but then a medic leaned inside the building, pulled out a 45 and shot the bad guy.
Man.
Which again, medics aren't supposed to carry guns, but this one said, you know what? Screw that. I'm carrying a weapon.
The only thing is, if I felt like I was fighting in a war where there was still some attention to the Geneva Convention,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I would feel like, I would be there would be certain risks that I would take because I would think maybe they wouldn't shoot me because I'm the medic that I wouldn't normally take, and having a gun might make them more likely to shoot me. So there's that. So you'd want to have it concealed, I would think. But these days in modern times, medics, you can't even tell they're a medic, right?
That's right.
Because
two reasons. Number one, medics are armed now.
Yeah.
And two, the people we fight now have no problem shooting the medic.
Right, and they might even target one.
Exactly. Yeah. And in fact, the Japanese toward the end of World War II, they were real big on that. If they saw a Red Cross, might as well have a target on you.
Oh yeah.
In fact, that Red Cross on your helmet was a target.
Yeah.
The Germans were a little bit better at respecting the Geneva Convention.
Okay.
Because
ironic.
Because a lot of people, ironic. Because when the Americans first went into Europe, a lot of medics didn't want to wear the white armband because they thought, well, it's a big target there. They're going to shoot me.
Oh yeah.
But then when they realized the Germans wouldn't shoot you, as long as you weren't armed and you were rendering aid, they wouldn't shoot you. I read an account from this book called A Taste of Courage, 1939 to 1945. This German medic was in Normandy on June 6th, on the night of June 6th. He's walking through this woods, and he sees some American paratroopers laying there on the ground, injured. Yeah. And he just took out his aid bag and started rendering aid to him. And he says he's sitting there patching these two American paratroopers up, and all of a sudden he sees cigarettes seem to start raining down out of the sky, dropping around him.
Wow.
And he looked up, and there were American paratroopers up in the trees throwing him cigarettes because he was helping their partners.
Oh, wow.
And he scooped up his cigarettes and walked off. So,
man, you like to think that people still have a little bit of class, even something like a war,
Yes. And depending on who you're fighting, But some of the terrorist groups we fight now, they don't worry about that.
Yeah, forget about that. Yeah.
No, I mean, no.
Yeah, no. I heard about some story that something happened in the Civil War. I forget which side it was that did it, but basically in the Civil War they were in some engagement, and there were some troops that were wounded, and they were not able to move. They're still alive, but they weren't really able to move on their own, and no one could really go out there to aid them because you had sort of like apparently kind of a no man's land kind of situation in this battle, and but there was like this brush fire that was happening, so they were about to get burned while they were still alive, and the enemy went and got the the enemy troops and carried them away from that fire, just to say like, all right, I know we're fighting each other, but we don't want to watch these guys burn alive,
that happened more than once in the Civil War.
I'm sure. Yeah,
you had spots where people would meet and talk things over, exchange coffee for tobacco.
That is weird.
It's just business. It's just business.
Yeah.
I know you from Georgia, and I'm from Illinois, but that's just business. I don't hate you. It's just you got a different uniform.
Yeah.
It's a war. Hey.
Be like, let's see that rifle you got there. Oh yeah, that's a nice rifle, and like distract him and take get his sights knocked off or something.
So they bet that many occasions people would meet, exchange newspapers. I mean, it's about.
Yeah.
Again, no hard feelings. We're just folks.
Yeah.
But once the sun came up, all right, you have to get back to killing.
Yeah.
So
let me pull my phone out here and check and make sure that the live stream is still good. We'd be like, maybe we've been talking this whole time and it's not even recording or something. Just make sure we're still going here. Which also is a good time to remind you guys, the people who do support us on the show, SDI, Federal. So I'm sure they'll support them if it makes sense for you. Also, this is one of the shirts that we have in our store. So we got shirts now.
Ooh, hey, all right, I got to check it out.
Eventually, there will be a Derrick shirt for sure.
Okay.
We've been talking about it for a long time.
Hey,
but we actually are going to be able to do it. So
okay.
All right. Yeah, they noticed that I'm looking at the comments. So MKL257, how's it going? You got anybody have something to ask Derrick? We'll do a couple of questions.
Okay, here we go. All right, there we go. All right. I remember the last time. Remember that toilet paper question?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, if I get a weird one, I won't even mention it.
All right then.
Don't worry. Let's see if we get any. I'm just gonna do one. So somebody asked Derek a question.
We both agreed crinkle on that toilet paper. Crinkle, not fold, crinkle.
Yep. Got to go for the wad. You know? Here we go. Got one. So Derek, do you ever stop laughing?
Okay, just now on that question.
The answer is yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a question.
Dude, if I stop laughing, that's a problem. That is a problem. If I ever stop laughing, look out. It's something. There's a problem. There's a problem. Houston, there's a problem. Hey.
Like those pest control guys that busted in on you.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I wasn't laughing then. That's not true. Jesus. That's what I'm sure that's a problem. Too much laughter.
That's right. Too much happiness.
Too much laughter. And what is this?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I've gone through several different stages of this, but recently I've really just been like, I just gotta stay off of Facebook. It's so crazy. Like everybody is so, like I'm gonna post stuff on there, but as far as like actually reading a lot of posts, you know, because there's so much junk on there about everyone. The world is burning.
Fake news.
yeah, fake news. Look. Trump is not great, obviously. I mean, he supports the Second Amendment. I like that. He supports some things that I support. Hillary scares the hell out of me. I'm glad that Hillary is not president, but I'm not necessarily glad that Trump is president either.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm tired of it. I don't.
Enough.
The world is not going to burn.
Enough. Yeah, this is
like I feel like the silver lining in all of this is that maybe both sides, the left and the right, and the middle has already known about this, but the left and the right will both realize that too much executive power is not a good thing.
Yes, it's supposed to be balanced. It's supposed to be three branches of government. So,
like when Obama was president, everyone that supported him was fine with all the executive orders. And then now when Trump is president, like, oh my God, these executive orders. Well, it's like we've been saying the whole time, the people that are more libertarian, like executive orders are not necessarily a good thing. Now, some executive power in states of emergency are important. I mean, you have to make decisions fast when something happens or attacked.
You got time to debate anything,
Yeah, but you're basically, creating policy or laws with executive orders, like that's,
Well, yeah, they said that rhetoric is not policy. I think a problem that the current regime is having is that great campaign, you won, but now it's time to get down to business.
Yeah,
okay,
and they're doing stuff.
Well,
they
are
doing stuff. Yeah. But it's like, is there stuff we need or want?
Okay, you said that.
Well, let's start with the wall thing.
Contract it out.
Yeah, so like that, we talked about this before the show. So like, first of all, I do think border security is important.
It is.
And that seems to be part of the argument. To me, there's no argument. Securing the border is important. I'm all for people immigrating to America, legally. Of course. But do it legally. Let's make sure we clean up that system. Yep. Make sure it's better. And I don't have a problem with vetting people.
Yeah.
Well, just saying that someone of a certain country just absolutely can never come in. That to me is extreme.
What got him in trouble was that they didn't specify if you're an American citizen or a American resident alien from that place and you went to visit and are coming back. Does it still mean you can't come here? Yeah,
they did it in a very messy and sloppy way.
It wasn't clear. Yeah,
so the intention behind it was not necessarily that bad, but it was done very sloppily. Yeah. But yeah, border security is super important. We can't just let anybody in for whatever reason. Terrorists can come across the Mexican border. Lots of stuff like that. The wall, it's going to be super expensive.
Yeah,
I've made that drive before. It's long.
Oh yeah.
Is it doable? Yes, but is it going to make that big of a difference for the money? Like you said, you think hiring more security and border patrol agents is a better way to do it.
To keep the cost down. Because I think building an actual brick and mortar wall along the southwestern United States border with Mexico, it's going to be insanely expensive.
Right.
So let's just hold what we got.
And not perfect.
Yeah.
It can be defeated.
Exactly. People can get over it, under it, around it. They'll find holes. There's always a way. So let's contract it out. Okay, U.S. government, listen up. Contract this stuff out.
Yeah.
This is a good way to save money. Let's border security, great. Let's
Right.
contract it out. You can sell off sections of the border, from El Paso to Santa Fe. That's
Yeah.
a section. All right. I need a security company to take charge of that. I need man patrols up and down. We'll
Right.
pay this much. Who can do it?
And the government can oversee it still.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe a wall does make sense in certain areas.
Yes. But some of those vast.
And they already have some walls out there.
A fence.
Yeah.
Some of those vast areas like Arizona, New Mexico, that just expanses of desert. Oh, come on. Okay, patrol it. And are we going to need how many more border patrol guys are we going to put out there? I hear they want to hire 1,000 more.
Yeah.
But who's going to pay for them? Who's going to pay them?
Yeah.
So I think it's just strictly from an economic cost. Like you said, live stream sucks. It's strictly from an economic cost cutting view.
Yeah, that was a mouthful. Yeah.
That's right. Let's contract it out.
Yeah.
Let's contract it out. We did it in Iraq.
Yeah.
Let's contract it out. We're still doing it in Afghanistan. Let's contract it out. Because
Right.
there are people.
The right equipment and everything.
That way, your company, the Big John security company goes out there, has a bunch of guys. You take care of all the dirty work. I just say, here's the money, make it happen.
And what about like remote surveillance too of the border?
Yeah.
Like, is there a way to have automated systems that can detect movement along the border on like a large area, or actually have like a control room of people just kind of scanning the area that with border patrol agents,
with people. I mean, what they do, some of these groups out there
flyovers,
with some of these groups out there in Arizona and New Mexico, some of these independent civilian groups do I guess self-defense patrols out there for against cartels. What they do is that if they capture any of these coyotes or any of these immigrants, they immediately turn them over to local law enforcement or border patrol.
Yeah.
So that's how that could work. I mean, it could work, but is there any incentive to do it?
Yeah.
I say for the government, just from the cost saving, the cost cutting aspect.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Here's another possibility too. I always feel like a lot of times when you're trying to what's the word, when you're trying to like deter people from doing something, a good way to do it is to make the penalty stricter, but the way to do that there's some kind of demand that's causing a problem, right? So whatever you can't allow people to do, you make that penalty really tough, but then give them a way to still get that result that they want legally. Then make that easier, right? So at least with the border, it doesn't work with everything, but at least with the border, make the border more secure, and then the way to get in the right way easier. And another way to do that might be that when we catch people coming across the border illegally, actually take them in and do identification on them, like make them go through some kind of process of identification where we take a photo of them, even like, I don't know, take fingerprints and everything. We're like, we know who this person is. So then if they try to come in legally, we can say, hey, sorry, buddy, you're out of luck. Like you came in the wrong way. And to make sure they all know that, like, hey, if you want to come in this country legally, we're going to work with you, and we are going to try to get you in the best that we can, as long as you don't have some vast criminal record. But if you try to come in illegally, then you have blown your chance.
Yeah. Good idea. I mean, if you can do it legally, because if we catch you illegally, you're never going to get here.
Right.
They just do catch and release now, don't they?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And then you got sanctuary cities. That's got to stop.
Well, I think they're going to go after that we're going to cut your federal funding.
Yeah.
It's okay, be a sanctuary city. We're going to cut your education funding, your EPA stuff. I mean, we'll get you that way. Right,
because that's clearly a federal issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like states' rights, but there is some need for federal power,
I think they do, as far as the sanctuary city goes. As long as you're not committing crimes, they pretty much leave you alone. But the minute you come into their jail system, okay, hey, he's over here, get him.
Yeah.
So,
Right. And nothing that annoys me, a lot of the arguments about this issue is about things that have nothing to do with the real issues. They'll say, like, immigrants made this country, and we need immigrants for this country. Yeah, those things are true, but it has nothing to do with the actual problem at the border. Right, like immigrants come to this country all the time legally. You know, it's like they take that legal versus illegal thing, like they try to take that out of the equation.
You got Canadians slipping across.
Yeah, I know. And yeah, it's crazy. Did you see that commercial, the Super Bowl, the 84 lumber thing?
No.
You didn't see that?
No.
It's been like everyone's been talking about it. So it was this commercial for a lumber company of all things that basically was promoting the struggle of illegal aliens coming across the border, into the country, and they were just like saying like, "Oh, these people, they're so strong, and they have the courage to break America's federal laws and come across the border and to make a better life for their family." It was a real like tearjerker kind of thing. It's like we
missed the point. What's the part of the illegal part we're missing?
Yeah, there's a reason why we do that. We can't just let everybody come in.
That's a problem. You're right. Not everybody can come here, and the criminal element. Yeah, you can't. We got to do something about that.
And it's even not just a criminal element. It's a little bit like, I don't know, like some type of entertainment venue. You have to monitor how many people are in there. You know, we can only let a certain number of people in at a time.
Yep.
It can screw with our economy. You know, we have a limited amount of resources in America. If we let the whole world into our country, which
we cannot do, which other countries kind of laugh at the American immigration policy. They're like, what?
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, do we want to become, some of the cities in China where we got people stacked and stacked and stacked on top of each other? You know, I mean, working for nothing.
And I think as far as immigration, you can talk to France about that. They're or the Germans. They're like, what did we do? What?
Yeah.
So it can bite you in the butt. You got to have some kind of vetting system, some kind of background check, because if you don't, it can come back and bite you in the butt.
Yeah, yeah.
So you got to be careful. I mean, we just asking for a reason. Let's enforce the laws we currently have, and people should forget. They act like this looking for immigrants, illegal immigrants thing is something new. Man, Obama was throwing them out left and right.
Oh yeah.
People forget. ATF, INS, they're chunking people out here left and right. They're rounding them up left and right. I mean, it doesn't seem obvious, but they are. They're going full tilt.
Yeah, I think part of the thing, like Trump has made certain issues come to light that haven't necessarily before, and they don't realize that Obama was doing something similar, or presidents,
or Bush, or
Clinton, or
exactly. I mean, they ain't like INS is just sitting back. They are out there rounding them up left and right. So.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what's going to happen with Trump being president. I just hope that at least he doesn't fly off the handle so bad that we end up having like a borderline communist to be our next president.
Well, okay.
That's what I'm hoping.
I think if
dream small.
If the Democrats are get their stuff straight. Okay, I'll say this. Okay, sacrilege. Get ready. Hillary was more experienced. She first lady for 8 years, Secretary of State for 6. She had the experience. She knew the job. Everybody agrees she was a hard worker.
She knew how to screw us over better.
The problem with Hillary was she didn't inspire anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Hillary. She wasn't Obama.
And she had such a hard stance on guns. Guns makes a big difference in
She didn't inspire anybody, and I think what really shot me in the foot, all the people that were disgruntled and voted for Trump, if she reached out to them and says, okay, look, I hear you. Come in here. I hear what you're saying. We're going to work something out. Hey, I'm reasonable.
Yeah. She'd
be there today. But she didn't do that. Was she the adult choice? Probably. No, Bernie Sanders. Do I dare say his name on the show? But I think she carried on being the adult choice. Because Trump was saying some stuff out there, and they thought, who's going to vote for this guy? Well, we saw who did.
Yeah, well, I heard someone say that voting for Trump was kind of like taking a bundle of dynamite and just throwing it into the White House.
Exactly.
And I'll be honest, I'm kind of fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a backlash thing because I mean, some people, I'm not going to say who, got self-righteous about we're this and we feel this, it should be this way, and a lot of people who weren't included.
Yeah,
felt like, you know what? Screw you.
The right for this guy. Yeah, the right has been very marginalized. I feel like the left controls the media, and they try to make the right feel like they're all dumb, flyover country, a bunch of dicks that don't know anything.
Exactly.
They're all racist.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly. And that was wrong. That was the wrong thing to do. I hope they realize that now.
Yeah.
You got to be inclusive. Yeah, we may not think the same way that you do, but hey, let's all come together and make this a better place for all of us. Let's do that. That's the message they should have done instead of freezing people out.
Yeah, and it's like, with the racism thing, it's like that's further divided us. Is you have people on the left, and you know what's weird? It's mostly white people on the left that are doing it. And they're calling all white people on the right racist, which makes conservative white people feel like they got to stick together. And you know what happens when a bunch of really conservative white people feel like they got to stick together? So
I'm gonna let you say that.
So I don't think that's the way to end racism.
No, that's not the way.
Honestly, if you think about it, X person, Jim Bob Jones, racist, whatever, generic name.
That's
he's racist. Casting him out is going to not make him any less racist.
That's right, exactly.
So if anything, if they are racist, you want to kind of bring them in and say, like with guns, like people who are anti-gun. I don't try. Oh, you libtard, get out of here. I want to. Hey, man, come shooting sometime with me.
Look, most people that have weapons are reasonable, down to earth, level-headed people. You better be.
Yeah.
Hey.
So you got to include people and stuff before they realize that it's not scary.
Exactly. And I think that what shot them in the foot is that they weren't inclusive.
Right.
They're kind of self-righteous about we're this and you're not, and that bit them in the butt.
Yeah.
So next time around, if they want to get some of this back, be inclusive. Yeah. Be inclusive. Come on. We're all in this together. Come on, guys.
Think about this. What if there was a Democratic president that was a moderate Democrat that was pro-gun? I mean, that would be like. I mean, I would. They'd probably, if they're a Democrat, there are probably things I maybe would disagree with them on. Maybe I don't know. But that would be interesting to see. I don't think I've ever seen that before in modern times. A pro-gun, moderate Democrat. Like if that ever existed, it would clean up because the Democrats would vote for him. Now, they would have to make it through the primaries. Now, making it through the primaries, being pro-gun, would be pretty tough. But if they did...
Well, as long as you come across as reasonable, level-headed, like you don't want to be a gun nut.
Right. Well, I am, but... it's all in how you come across. Yeah,
you don't want to be the stereotypical gun guy. Like who? Like what?
Ted Nugent, kind of...
Yeah,
he does some good things, but he sheds kind of a negative light sometimes.
You don't want to be that guy. You want to be come across as reasonable, level-headed.
Right.
But I like carrying carrying weapons. I like firing weapons. It's a hobby. It's something that I like to do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a guy that you show people that, hey, I'm not crazy, dude.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that helps us with the fight for gun rights and everything is that the people who are pro-gun are way more serious about keeping gun laws, sane or keeping them off the books than the other side is about removing gun laws. Like the average, liberal or whatever you want to call them, they're kind of like official stance is that they are for gun control, but they don't really think about it that much. Yeah. Most of the ones I talk to, I mean, it's not a big deal with them. So if there was a pro-gun Democrat that came through, as long as they agreed with them on certain other things, they might have some success. Guns is definitely what killed Hillary, and I'm glad that that happened. So
I don't know what was she thinking.
Yeah, what's weird? Bernie Sanders was probably the most left presidential, someone who was running for president that I can remember. I mean, he said he was a socialist. Like, he didn't even try to hide it. But Hillary was left of him on guns.
Really?
That blows my mind. Yeah, Bernie Sanders was more moderate than Hillary Clinton on guns.
Well, I think coming from Vermont, but they're gun toting up there.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's a lot of it. Yeah.
I mean,
hey, he even got in an argument with her in the debate about like Hillary was for suing gun manufacturers when like a gun is used in a crime, and he actually defended the gun manufacturers and was saying, like, basically you're talking about ending gun manufacturing if that happens, because guns are always going to be used in crimes.
Yeah, whether they're legal or not.
Right.
Just go. There's enforce the laws we have. Enforce the laws we have.
And get rid of some of the ones we have. like recently, there's been these petitions about repealing the NFA and some of that stuff, which I'm hoping, which, like, if you know what the NFA is, so there's two different. Okay, so the NFA is the National Firearms Act.
Okay.
I don't know everything about it, but it was started around the mid 30s, 34, I think it was.
Yeah.
I want to say 34 or 36.
Back before you when you go get a Thompson from the hardware store and throw it on the front seat of the car. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it came about, I think, largely because of these highly publicized gangster shootings.
Bonnie and Clyde, Machine Gun Kelly. Yeah, Gun Kelly. Yeah.
They finally decided, okay, we've got to try to regulate these guns that these guys are using. And of course, same old deal. Most of them stole the guns from the government
in the first place. Yeah.
In the first place, and even these were highly publicized, but still, most people had sawed-off shotguns and machine guns and stuff and never hurt anybody. You know, same old story. Yeah. But because of this, they felt like they needed to regulate them. So what they did was they made it this lengthy process of you got to go through all this paperwork now. If you want a machine gun, or if you want a rifle that's under 16 inches, or a shotgun that's under 18 inches, or a suppressor, they became regulated around that same time. You have to go through all this paperwork, and there's a $200 stamp. And basically what that did at the time, because $200 was a lot of money back then.
34, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of money. So basically what they did is like they were saying that we only want to allow rich people to have these guns, essentially. So if you had money, you could afford to buy a Thompson back then. You probably had these, bankers and stuff with them sitting in the closet.
Just in case Bonnie and Clyde show up.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, and then time went on, and that $200 gradually became less and less of a big deal. And in like the 60s and the 70s and the early 80s, buying a machine gun was not that big of a deal. Like my dad in 1984 or something like that, he bought a fully automatic Uzi. He paid about $900 for it. He had to pay another couple $100 to have it converted to full auto. Went through the paperwork, a $200 tax stamp, and for like $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, he's got a fully legal paperwork machine gun classified as submachine gun Uzi. If you want that same gun now, you're looking at about $9,000 or $10,000, and that's because of something called the Hughes Amendment, which was passed or whatever allowed to go through in 1986, which means that no machine guns manufactured prior to 1986 can be transferred to civilians. So it's kind of like this 1-2 punch that happened over that time period that made machine guns almost unobtainable for people, unless you're like some country music star or something, making a ton of money. And if you want to buy a suppressor or any of that kind of stuff, you got to go through this big long process. So now that Trump is the president, there's this effort to try to remove some of that stuff, but it's just going to be so hard to convince the public that certain people should be allowed to own machine guns.
Long as the gun public as a whole doesn't do stupid stuff like walking into Walmart with the AK across your back.
Yeah,
we always,
it hurts us. Yeah,
we always got to be seen as responsible, as level-headed. Again, carry professionally.
Right.
As long as we do that, maybe some stuff will change. But as long as you got that one guy at the back of the room feels like he needs to walk down the street with his AK across his back.
Right. I mean, the short barrel rifles, the short barreled stuff, and the suppressor stuff is ridiculous. Shouldn't be on there. Suppressors are never used in crimes. If you need to suppress your gun, you can make one or whatever. It's basically a non-issue. With machine guns, if it really makes the public feel better, fine. Maybe a more extensive background check. Yeah. But you got to lift that ban though, where
which
they can
only
be made
law-abiding citizens worry about.
Yeah, exactly. So some gangster or whatever, he'll go, get some random AK, and convert it to full auto if he wants to.
Yeah.
If you're murdering people, then it's like, why are you worried about a gun charge?
Yeah. If you're worried, if you're going to go out there and shoot down 10, 12 people, you're not going to worry about, have I got my license straight, right? You're not going to worry about that.
Yeah, no.
So,
but there's some petitions out there. People are listening. Go sign them. It probably won't do anything, but sign it anyways. It seems like there's always a new petition for something. If they, how those work, those White House petitions. Like if they hit 100,000,
they have to respond to it.
Yeah, they have to respond. But what does that mean? You know?
Okay, yes, we know. Okay, now.
Yeah.
See you later. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. You want to know about the aliens? Got it.
Okay. so let's just hope for the best, and I don't know. Hopefully nobody else does anything stupid.
Yeah, they will though.
Oh, of course they will. Of course they will. Of course, it never fails.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the frustrating things about just society in general is that all it takes is a few assholes to ruin it for everybody.
Yeah,
you know.
Was going through Alabama, and they had in every store we stopped, they had signs up on the door: weapons must be concealed.
Yeah,
that because again, people walking around with their ARs across their back. Dude, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But the thing that hit me though is that they didn't mind you having a weapon.
Right.
Just don't let me see it.
Yeah. It's kind of cool, really.
You know, just weapons fine. You have all you want. Just don't let me see it.
Yeah.
No long guns. So.
Right. Yeah. Which, in a perfect world, it'd be nice if we could all just carry AR-15s around everywhere we go. But we're not in a perfect world. We live in a world that's very diverse and it has people with lots of different ideas and opinions.
Speaking of someone who's had to carry a weapon around, a long gun around for an extended period of time on several occasions, that gets old after a while. I'm like, dude, if you got a choice between carrying a handgun and a rifle, carry the handgun.
Yeah,
conceal it, put it in your pocket, whatever. Because carrying that the M4 or whatever you got, that long gun around gets old after a while.
And plus, you got over penetration, kind of stuff to worry about.
You're in Walmart. Something breaks out. Okay, I got my AR. I'm ready to go. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, maybe have one in your car or something just in case.
Yeah. Go get it.
Yeah, something really serious breaks out. But the thing you got to watch out for, though, is if, let's say there's a mass shooting and you go and grab your AR and try to deal with it, the cops show up.
There you are with a... Okay, I'm on your side. Oh, too late.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's like you have to have eyes in the back of your head. Try to do what you can, but as soon as you see cops, just get somewhere and just
put the thing down. Hey, reholster, put it back in the truck. Hey.
Or just break it apart and set it in the corner. You go running back to your truck with it. There he is. Get him.
That's right.
Another good reason to then maybe not have an AK for that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the bad guy gun. AK, as grudgingly as much as it grudges me to say it.
Yeah.
Great end of the world weapon. It's if the lights go out, it's the way to go. You can't do nothing to it. But you're right. It's a bad guy gun. It's seen as the bad guy gun.
Yeah. Did you ever see that movie Elysium?
Yeah.
He has the AK, that futuristic.
Yeah, look
AK.
at AK. Yeah, Matt Damon. Yeah. Hey, why not? It'll be there. I'm sure 100 years from now there'll be an AK there somewhere.
Oh yeah,
next to a Glock. Next to a Glock. Polymer and all.
Yeah.
Come on. Okay. All right.
That's right. Like in Fury Road, where the guy had the Glock.
Yeah, of course. That was a Glock. It's in the world. Glock. Glock. Of course. And that's all AK there too, of course.
Yeah. It'd be funny, Glock paid them for that.
That's right. Just carry this. Okay, sure.
Like the whole premise of the movie is Glocks are the only guns left.
That's right, of course.
They're like cockroaches.
Lift up the refrigerator. Oh, there's a Glock under here. Look.
Yeah, really.
I saw this thing on alternate meanings behind your favorite TV cartoons.
Oh.
And there's a theory out there apparently that the Flintstones are actually in the future, not the past.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a Holocaust, there was a big nuclear apocalypse, and society's trying to build itself back together, and then all of a sudden that explains the cars.
Oh yeah.
And the
what about the dinosaurs though?
Good question.
Like that's a hole in the theory.
Well, because they said, well, how would they know about cars if they were in Stone Age times? How would they know about cars or the garbage disposal pig under the sink? Yeah. How would they know about that? Or the elephant shower? How would they know about that? So
that's true.
And somebody said that. What about the dinosaurs? Well, all dogs are extinct. So these animals, these dinosaur-like, they didn't say they were dinosaurs. They never call them dinosaurs.
Yeah.
These dinosaur-like animals. Dino was a mutant that acted like a dog.
Oh yeah, they came from like pets, like bearded dragons. And stuff,
exactly. I mean, hey, who? But who knows? Flintstones are actually the future.
Wow,
it was scary.
Yeah, that's crazy. They're out west. It's like somewhere not too far from the Grand Canyon. They have like a mock-up of the Flintstones town. It's like a super crappy like roadside attraction that probably was cool in the 70s. It hasn't been updated since.
Do they have a ride like you can slide off the back of a dinosaur and jump into your car? They do?
No, not in the car. Well, there was some kind of ride thing that clearly like didn't work anymore, like or something. But yeah, there was like a dinosaur you could like climb up on it. It was kind of sad. It was like the Flintstones had all died. Like there had been like a nuclear holocaust. They
have the whistle blow and then you jump off the back of the dinosaur and slide down the tail. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. So,
they should have done a Jetsons and Flintstones like crossover.
In fact, this guy who wrote this theory apparently had a lot of time on his hands because he's saying that the Jetsons and the Flintstones took place at the same time.
Oh, just different planets.
No, different, same planet, just different parts of it. Some people, a small group, a small enclave survived and went to the future with the flying cars and all that. Yeah. And then you had the other enclave that was behind the times, living in caves, with the foot powered cars and all that. Wearing skins and all that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, that reminds me. I saw a hipster Mary Poppins the other day.
Oh my God!
Like I was in, I won't say where, but I was in a very gentrified part of Middle Tennessee, and I kid you not, I saw this lady on a bicycle, and she was whatever she was wearing, the coat she was wearing, it reminded me of Mary Poppins so much, and she had wicker baskets on her bicycle,
of course.
Right, and there was this big, old school looking bicycle, not with the big wheel up front, not quite that bad.
Okay.
But it was like just some big old like beach cruiser looking thing. Mary Poppins looking girl, just cruising along, got her groceries from the health food store.
That's right, by God, hey, so wheat germ and all that. Hey.
Yeah, and you got people. There are people who ride those big wheel bikes and stuff. Still,
I saw a guy on a unicycle.
I've heard about that. I haven't seen anyone do it yet.
Dude, I mean, I guess it works. I guess it's practical. I guess. I mean.
It's such a weird time. It's like part of our culture is like degrading. It feels like, and another part of it is just becoming more whimsical.
That's man buns.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hey man, I mean, hey, live and let live. Okay, live and let live.
Yeah.
I don't want to offend anybody. I'm not making a joke.
They'll be like man beehives, beehive like hair or whatever.
Gee, oh my God, you never know now. I mean, okay, I'm gonna leave it there because I had a bad joke coming. I'm gonna leave it there. I'll leave it at that. No. We don't need no protest around here. No. Leave it alone.
Oh man, people are quick on the trigger with the protest.
That's right. So live and let live. Peace, love, chicken grease. Hey.
That was the thing with Uber recently. Like came under fire because of that. There was some big protests at the airport.
Cab drivers
because of they're calling the Muslim ban, which is it's not a Muslim ban. First of all, that's always how they do. They come up with some word that makes it sound way worse than it actually is. The Muslim ban. like if you're a Muslim, you are illegal.
Muslim ban. They opened for Pearl Jam, didn't they?
I think so.
No,
yeah.
That's right. That lead singer is great. Yeah. Okay.
But
trying to lighten the mood, folks.
Yeah, really. But yeah, people got pissed because Uber just kept business as usual, and they didn't go along with the strike or whatever.
Because Uber hurts cab drivers.
Yeah, that's probably part of it.
So,
yeah. All right. Well, I guess we talked long enough.
That's right.
Let's check and see if people are still there. Talk to them for just a second, and then we'll go home. I'm already home. Derek will go home.
Yes, I'll get back and catch that plane back to the States.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's see what you guys are saying. Oh, there's a delay. I can see myself now picking up the phone. At Fury Road there was also an SKS.
Very observant, dude.
Yeah. They also were very liberal with the gasoline.
Yeah, that's supposedly a shortage, but they got got it everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, this was fun, guys. Appreciate it. No one has any questions. They're popping in fast enough. But, anyways, it was fun.
Excellent.
We'll do this again. I hope you guys like the live. They like the live format, but we'll do it again.
That's all right.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, I gotta get to the airport. I gotta catch that plane back to the States.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right. I'll see you guys.
See ya.
Okay.